I had a customer one time. The customer was at the office supply store where I worked. The customer had shopped and shopped. It seemed like they had been there for hours, but maybe it was just an hour. They had asked a lot of questions and purchased, well, put a lot of goods in their basket. They got to the front of the store, and it was almost closing time, and we were starting to ring up their purchases, and he asked if he was going to get the $50 discount immediately. I stopped and tried to figure out what he was referring to, and he then showed me an ad. The ad said that there was a $50 rebate if you spent $200 at the office supply store. Now, when I explained to him that it was a rebate and he was going to have to fill out a form and submit it with a copy of his receipt, he went through the roof. I seriously thought that he was going to come over the counter and strangle us. He was so upset. He thought he was going to be saving that money instantly, and he was not happy that he was going to have to pay for the entire purchase and then fill out a form and turn it in. So he was noticeably upset, and I was the supervisor on duty. And the first thing that I did is asked him why he was upset and what we could do to help him. And he said, I hate rebates, I hate forms. Had I realized it was a rebate, I never would have done it. And so we came up with a solution. I couldn't give him the $50 off at that very point in time. We didn't have that authority. But what I did is I got the rebate form. I filled it out while one of the cashiers processed the transaction. We went in the back, made a copy of the receipt, had him sign the rebate form, put it in an envelope, and mailed it from the office supply store so that he knew his rebate would be coming in the mail and it was already being processed and worked on. Now, obviously, we couldn't resolve the customer's issue exactly, but by listening to him and being responsive, we were able to come up with a solution that he could live with. And we didn't lose a customer in a big purchase either, which was really important to the organization. So, it happens. We have difficult customers. How do you handle it? What's the best way to handle it? Anytime you are having a conflict, it tends to be differences of opinion or a misunderstanding. Now, the first thing that the individual who feels has been wronged wants to do is to explain their side of the situation. It's only natural as human beings to want to explain to someone what you are feeling or what it is you thought. And so the first thing you want to do when you're providing customer service is to listen to the customer. Now, listening to the customer is excellent because not only does it help you to better understand where the customer is coming from, but it also gives you time to think and time to process what the best response is and how the customer might respond to that response. So it's very important to let them speak first. Listen to what they have to say. The next step is to watch their body language. Are they being offensive? Are they tilting their head to the side, which means they're being passive and they just really feel like they've been done wrong? Are they being aggressive and they've got their arms folded and their fists clenched and you're worried that they may hit someone at any moment? Watch the body language. Try and understand where they're coming from, and be careful. If the individual is going to get aggressive, you need to call a manager, and in some cases, you may even have to call the police to have the customer escorted from the premises. Now, acknowledge the customer's frustration. Tell them you get it. Tell them you can see their point of view. And apologize. I'm sorry you misunderstood. Let's see what we can do to make this right. So stop and consider how to resolve the situation. Now, Offer up alternatives. If there's more than one way that you might solve the situation, then offer the alternatives. Make sure that the customer is satisfied. Make sure that they feel that the situation has been rectified. Make sure you thank them for their business. Make sure you acknowledge, we know that you could go somewhere else, and we appreciate that you stuck with us even though we realize that it was a frustrating situation. And it's important to understand that a customer just wants to receive a fair deal. They want someone to give them what they feel they deserve. Now, in making sure that you're meeting a customer's needs, you have to know the company policy. You have to know what you're able to do. Like I said with the individual who thought it was an immediate discount instead of a rebate, I wasn't able to give the 25% immediate discount. It was not something I could do. So you have to know your company's policy. Trust me, if you have an upset customer and you promise them something that can't be provided, you are going to have a really upset customer. So be very careful. Make sure you understand and that you know what you are able to provide to them in order to resolve the situation. Expect conflict. It will happen. There are difficult people out there. There are people who have had a very bad day. Maybe they just found out about a disease that they have, or just found out that one of their parents is sick, or just found out that their child's failing in school. People have bad days for all kinds of reasons. Remember that people are human, and we all sometimes need a little bit of compassion. Treat your customers with respect. Be respectful to them, and that will go a long way.